Welcome, I'm Dr. Melina Roberts, and I want to talk about the 5 ways that we can build structured water in the body. And I want to talk about why structured water is important to our health. And I want to talk about the 5 ways that we can build that structured water in the body. And this is so important to our overall health. And this is important for all of us. Now, what we learn in school is that there's 3 phases of water. There's gas, liquid, and solid forms of water. Now, within our human body, we have about 70% of our body is water, is what we have learned. And the water that's inside of us is different than the water that we drink. So what researchers are finding out is that there's actually a 4th phase of water. And this one researcher that's discovered this 4th phase of water is Dr. Pollack. And what he is finding out is that there's a 4th phase of water. And this 4th phase is more like a gel-like type of water, or a plasma, an electric plasma. And so what he's found is that what happens in terms of the water is that the water can become structured. And so it divides into negative and positive charges of water. Now, often this gel-like water, or electric plasma water, which is the water that's within our human body and creates health in our body. Now, it's often called 4th phase water because of Dr. Pollack's work in terms of finding this 4th phase of water. He often calls it the exclusion zone water, so the EZ water, because there's nothing in that part of the water where there's those negative ions. And then it's often called structured water because of how the water forms like a lattice-like structure. Now, the benefits of this structured water is that it's going to help to improve our health, because the more structured water in our body, the better the water in our system flows, and we need to be able to build structured water. It's the same as us saying that you need to make sure you're drinking water and that we are well hydrated, because that will help to improve the structured water in our systems. Now I'm going to go through 5 ways that we can help to build that structured water in our system. One, and this is based on Dr. Pollack's work, is that he found that if you added radiant energy to the water, it helped to build structured water. And so that radiant energy, one, it can be coming from the sunlight. So we want to make sure that we are getting sunlight on a regular daily basis. And the sunlight is not just giving us vitamin D, it's helping to build that structured water in our systems. Now, the other way that we can get radiant energy is from infrared saunas. So getting into an infrared sauna will help to build structured water. And what happens is that water actually absorbs that radiant energy and helps to build that structured water, and makes us have more of that structured water, and it actually increases that inclusion zone. So it increases that negative ion space within the water, and it really helps to build that structured water. Now, another way that we can be building that structured water is that we can be taking in living foods, so things like plants, vegetables, fruits. All of those will actually naturally have structured water within those actual plants and vegetables and fruits. And when we consume them, we'll be taking in some of that structured water. So making sure that within our diet that we have plants, vegetables, fruits. That will help to increase the amount of structured water we have within our bodies. And another way that we can build structured water is grounding. So this is where we come in contact with the earth. So walking barefoot on the ground helps to give us the negative ions from the earth. We just start to absorb those negative ions into our bodies, and these negative ions help to build our structured water, as the structured water is made up of these negative ions. And the fifth way that we can be building structured water in our body is by drinking structured water. Now, there's a number of ways that we can do that. One of them is that if we take the water, and if you look at the researcher Emoto, he talks about how we can actually change the water, that structure of the water, by giving it messages like love and compassion. Just thinking those thoughts to that water that we're going to be drinking. I know it sounds like it doesn't make a difference, but it definitely does. And there's research behind that proves it, and it's repeatable research, which is really cool. And so that will help us to build that structured water. So you're going to be thinking those thoughts, making sure that this water is nourishing us. We can put that water into sunlight. That sunlight helps to absorb that radiant energy into the water, and then we consume it. There's different tools that we can use, and there's also different filtering systems that make structured water. And I can put those links below that we can attach to that you can see that there's different systems that help to build that structured water. But those are 5 ways that we can be building structured water in our body, and how we can help to improve our health by having more structured water in our systems. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I encourage you to share this with your friends and family, to press the like button, to press the subscribe button, to make a comment below. And until next time, continue to learn, grow, and build health. And I'll see you in the next video.